Should the Jets trade for James Bradberry? We're going to talk about it, see if we can come up with an answer. Hey, what's going on? I'm Matt O'Leary, back with another video, and today I'll be talking about James Bradberry and if the New York Jets should trade for him. Before we get started today, I just wanted to mention that you can follow me on social media at Matt O'Leary NY. If you haven't already, please make sure to check out the Just Jets podcast. You can call in, leave me your questions, and I'll try to get to them on the show. All right, so it's the NFL Draft Combine, which was one of the more productive weeks in the NFL. You just hear a lot of different things come out. One, about the guys in the NFL draft, the prospects entering it, and then just rumors around, because the league year is just about to start, a couple more weeks away. I can't wait. 2 weeks to the day, I believe, is when free agency technically starts. Let's go. I am ready. I am hyped up. Let's do it. And one of the rumors, or just one of the things out of the NFL Combine today, was a potential price tag on a trade for two New York Giants. One of them was James Bradberry. The other is Saquon Barkley. I don't care about Saquon Barkley. I am not trading for Saquon Barkley. We are talking about James Bradberry, and the report is supposedly a third-round pick would be enough in order to, acquire a guy like James Bradberry from the New York Giants. Now, this is a little bit of a unique circumstance because, yes, this guy can still play. He's not being traded because he's bad necessarily. He's being traded because the Giants have zero cap space, a new system, a new defensive coordinator, new head coach, new general manager. So they're going to get their own guys in there. They're $12 million over the cap right now. So freeing up some money from James Bradberry and getting an asset back seems like a wise thing to do for a team that, they just desperately need to rebuild and retool this thing. So what do we have to know about James Bradberry? Well, he's 28. He's going to turn 29 years in August. He's a veteran, which is okay. Like, the Jets are at the point right now where they can handle trading for a veteran, someone who could come in and play right away. I'm so tired of there's no way the Jets can possibly trade for someone even remotely close to the age of 30 years old, because they're not ready to win for another 7 years. You got 7 years before you can make a move like that. It's just like ridiculous. You've had so many times over the last couple of years with Joe Douglas where he's traded away key players for future assets, which is fine. Everyone knew he was going to do that. Traded away Leonard Williams, Jamal Adams, Sam Darnold, Chris Herndon, and he's got really good returns on most of those guys, but it's time for him to start transitioning and using all this draft capital that he collected and trade for NFL caliber players that are already established right now. They're the youngest roster in the NFL. It's okay if you add some veterans to it and try to take a next step in your rebuild process and actually be competitive. No more can they be a two-win team at the bye week, 2-8 and week going into week 10. It's unacceptable. You have to be competitive, and a move like that, bringing in a legitimate starting outside corner, would help move the bill forward and help improve your defense, because I do think that they should be looking to improve the cornerback room. I think a veteran would make sense, whether it's free agency, whether it's the trade market. Bradberry seems to be a good fit for that on the trade market, but I would think it would make sense to add a veteran to help kind of take the younger guys like the Brandon Echols, like the Michael Carter II, like Bryce Hall under their wing and teach them and have them develop. So this past year wasn't phenomenal for Bradberry. The 2 years prior, he was really damn good, but he allowed a 65.2 reception percentage, 729 yards, 8 touchdowns allowed, which is a lot, but the New York Giants defense was downright atrocious, and 4 interceptions. Now, here's what I noticed. Last year, the Giants were one of the worst pass rush teams in the NFL. Now, why does that matter? Well, if your pass rush isn't getting home, then your corners have to cover for damn near an eternity, which is just impossible in today's league. You can't win expecting your corners to cover forever. You need your pass rush in order to get home. But the year prior, so in 2020, Patrick Graham's defense was much, much better at pressure percentage and getting after the quarterback and getting in his face. And guess what? It was one of the better years for Bradberry in his entire career. He allowed just 454 yards and 3 touchdowns, had 3 interceptions to go on top of that. He was a really damn good player. So just don't be an awful pass rush, and you're probably going to be fine with Bradberry as a starting outside corner. And again, you don't necessarily have to have this downright star at corner for this defense to succeed, but Bradberry's just a professional starting outside corner who's good. That's it. It's as simple as that. And you would still have a ton of picks if you gave up your third rounder. You would have 2 in the first round, 2 in the second round, 2 in the fourth round, 2 in the fifth round. That's how many picks? That's 8 picks to use in the draft, and they're all in the first 5 rounds. You don't even have to worry about round 6 or round 7 where you know the talent pool is going down. And sure, sometimes these guys, they like to have their later round swings, but all 8 of your draft assets at that point would be in the first 5 rounds. So yeah, you know what? You gave up a top 70 pick, but you gave it up for a corner who could come in and help your defense right now. Everyone complains about the secondary and how bad it was. Well, you know, instead of having to spend the top 10 pick on the position, you can bring someone in who not only is good right now, but can help the already younger guys on the roster continue to improve and get better. And that's the thing. Like, my preference is getting as much help in the secondary in free agency as possible, or just in the veteran market as possible. And yeah, I do think they need to add a safety in the draft at some point. I don't think first round, but second, third, fourth round, that's a pretty nice sweet spot. And you're going to get some quality starting guys in that window. So Bradberry and Hall on the outside, Michael Carter II in the slot, Brendan Eccles rotating in. There's injuries. Like, it's not like Brendan Eccles isn't going to play at all. He's going to rotate in and stuff like that. I think it would be a smart decision. And like I said earlier at the top, like, it's time for Joe Douglas to start putting some of these assets that he's accumulated through the millions and millions of trades and start trading for already established players. And a guy like James Bradberry, pretty damn good. And I know what some people are going to say, there's no way you can't trade with the New York Giants. Well, the Leonard Williams trade worked out pretty good. I would sign up for that. I think the return was more than fair for him. And a third round pick for a starting corner, I think you sign up for that, man, especially one of the caliber of James Bradberry. So let me know what you think in the comments down below or on social media. Once again, I am Matt O'Leary. Subscribe here if you're new, and I'll talk to you next time.